Was buying a Rust Belt car a huge mistake?
Okay, well, I have some crumblies here for sure. So
this time I'm going to do a thorough inspection of my new purchase and work on cleaning it up a little bit. Okay, well, let's get the other goodies that I got out of here. In addition to the Suburban, I also got from the seller Yakamita roof box, which is a big one. Very big one. Oh, where'd you guys go? Did I mention it was a big one? Okay. I also got this bike rack from him. Alright, well I guess I'm going to keep that toolkit, so get rid of the box. The crossbars for that roof rack. Alright, well I'm not going to do a full super detail, but I am going to bust up the pressure washer here and knock the loose dirt off of it and just clean it up a tiny bit. Okay, so trying to deal with a few of the problems here. One of the things is the ignition cylinder sticks and doesn't want to turn. God damn it. Come back here. Anyway, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by gravity, ignition lock cylinder is sticking. The key doesn't want to turn a lot of the time. So yesterday I sprayed some of this dry lube with Teflon in there, and it was beautiful. It worked perfectly. And then today it started acting up again. So I'm going to spray a little bit more in there. Okay, so if you watched part 1 and 2 of the Suburban adventure here, you saw I ended up with a check engine light on the way home. So let's scan it and see what the cause of that was. Huh. I don't know what's going on with this bag gum. I have not had any luck getting it to communicate with the OBD2 stuff, which is weird. So, I don't know. Might have to try a different scanner here. Alright, let's try something else I have yet to try on this thing. The four-wheel drive. I gotta be neutral for that, don't I? Huh. Clunk. Well, that sounds like it works. Let's just go ahead and assume that it does. Alright, well, here's a quick surprise. Got a flat tire. Made it all the way back to Florida with no problems, and then I just filled this up and the valve stem was leaking a little bit, and some guy just flagged me down and told me I was flat. So there you go. Well, some lady saw us and ran over and gave me her little air compressor, so we'll see if this will do it. Not sure it will, but
The spare's in the back there.
I just wanted footage of me actually doing it.
Here's that tire that went flat on me, and I don't think there was anything wrong with the tire. I think it was the Schrader valve. So I actually just removed the Schrader valve, and there was a bunch of gunk on the bottom of it. I cleaned off and I reinstalled it. I might have another one sitting around here, but I don't think that I do. So it seemed like the valve itself was gummed up, so I don't know if this had fix-a-flat or something put in it at one point or what, but cleaned that off, reinstalled it, so let's see if it holds air now. I don't feel anything coming out of here this time. Before, when the valve stem cap was on, I could feel pressure behind it, and as soon as I took the valve stem cap off, I could feel a little bit of air coming out of the valve here. So it might have just been gunked up. Alright, well, that's holding 40 psi. Here's something else I really wanted to do that I haven't done yet. Everybody's favorite, Seafoam into the intake manifold, which I imagine is going to make quite a bit of white smoke. Alright, well, I got it in there, about 1/3 of a can, and it started to smoke a little bit, but I went ahead and just stalled it. So we'll let it sit and come back and check it. So this is a good time to show you. Get down in here and look really closely. That is the top of the shock tower. And there's a fair amount of rust on there. So I guess that's not too surprising. This was a Northern car for, I don't know, at least the last, I think 15 years, something like that. It spent the first half of its life in Texas and then California. So it wasn't always a Rust Belt car, but you can tell. So I definitely have some stuff to clean up, and lots of little spots that I really need to just grind down and hit with a coat of paint to make sure that this doesn't start becoming a real problem. Because it's, I would call most of this surface rust, severe surface rust, but not yet to the point where it is any kind of structural or safety issue yet. But if I don't address it, it will become that in the not too distant future, I would imagine. Here's the passenger side. So yeah, it's a little crusty. These shocks, like I said, I knew when I first looked at it that they were toast. So I've got some new ones in the mail right now on the way. And I might replace these upper control arms too. I'm not sure yet. I need to take the wheel off and get a closer look. Okay, well, I have some crumblies here for sure. So, definitely got to deal with this ASAP. So, part of the order with the shocks, I went ahead and got a couple more cans of Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer spray. Maybe not the best chemical treatment for the rust, but once I knock it all off, that should give it a good coating, and then we might do some undercoating or something on top of that. But just got to get this rust stopped for now. So I'm going to try to do this on the budget, but save the frame and all the suspension mounting points here. Crusty. The rest of the frame doesn't look too bad. There you go. But it's definitely got a good amount of surface rust on it. There's the skid plate. And there's the front one. Here's a better shot of the front. Alright, so getting started on the back here. These shocks look like they're pretty much as bad as the front were. And I don't know if you can see, all that stuff falling is rust. So it's definitely back here pretty good too. And got to get on this right away. And all of these sway bar bushings are just totally shot. So I'm going to have to replace those as well. New end links. And once again, here's some of the body. Not too bad, just a couple little spots here. Oh, whoops. I was going the whole time. See if it's still got enough juice to start. I think it's been long enough to test the Seafoam now. All right. Yep, I see smoke. There you go. It's also a very good way to find exhaust leaks. I knew those donuts were leaking though. But it looks like it's just the driver's side. The other thing here is, as I think I showed already, neither one of my VAGCOM Volkswagen/Audi scanning cables, that were both rather expensive, seem to be interacting with the OBD2 port on this car. I've actually not been able to get those to work on another car recently too, so I don't know what the deal is with those, but I just went ahead and ordered off of Amazon this Topdon Top Scan Bluetooth bidirectional OBD2 scanner. Mouthful, but hopefully this will work and be able to scan the codes here and tell me what is wrong, why the check engine light's on, and then being bidirectional, I should be able to reset and do any of the tests internally with the ECM. Tap up, we'll plug this in. Okay, it's plugged in. Guess I gotta download the vehicle specific stuff, Chevy. Okay, connected via Bluetooth. Chevrolet diagnostics, vehicle data loading. Reading VIN, air pump with or without? I don't know. I put without. So scanning process. So 4 faults for the powertrain. I guess that's where the check engine light's coming from, most likely. See if anything else pops up here. Just the powertrain. Read codes. Okay, so that's not anything too concerning. Oxygen sensors and catalyst, which would be the catalytic converter. Below efficiency. So that's probably from the oxygen sensors themselves, so that shouldn't be too bad. Just need to get a couple of new oxygen sensors most likely. Successfully erased. That did what it's supposed to. Let's see. Yep. No more check engine light. So if you've been following along with this journey, you'll know that the AC is not working great in the front here. I'm not sure if I said it or not, but the rear AC is actually working quite well. The front here seems to have very little airflow coming out of the vents, and I think I know what might be causing that. Actually had the same or similar problem with my S10 Blazer,
And that ended up being that the box that the evaporator is in was full of leaves and dirt and debris, and was blocking the blower motor from moving very much air through. So I think it's the same thing here. So for the front here, the blower motor's up here. I've not played with any of these Suburbans yet with the front and rear AC systems, so it is a little different for me, but I think there's a cover here we got to take off. Got to take the glove box out, and then should be able to pull the blower motor out from here and hopefully reach up into the box here and see if there's a bunch of debris and dirt and stuff. There we go. Glove box out. And I think this is just a little cover that sits in here. Sections got to undo first. Purple on the bottom, black on the side or top or whatever here. All right, there's one. There's the other one. Well, there's some dirt, debris. So what ends up happening in these is leaves get down in your cowl and then work their way through the vent into the box here. Nothing readily visible there. All right, well, I guess that's not it. Oh wait, here we go. Yep. Oh yeah. There's a ton of stuff in here. There you go. As expected. Of course, don't damage your fins on your evaporator if you can help it when you're doing this. I might have to take this whole thing apart and fully clean this because there's a lot in there. I really can't reach all of it. All right, well. Let's go get some compressed air and make a big mess blowing it out. All right, let's try the wand. All right, well, I probably need to take that apart and fully clean that coil, but that's a lot of crap out of there for now. So that should make at least some improvement for the time being. Well, those hinges are not very good, so I'll have to deal with that later, but it's back in there for now. All right, well, let's see if this blows harder now. All right, moment of truth. Better. I would definitely say that's better. Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. That is a moderate improvement. Still don't think it's perfect. I think there's more crap to clean out of there, and I think the coil's definitely packed full of dirt, so it needs a thorough cleaning, but that made it better. This stuff's really essential. See how much crap is coming out of there? That's just asking for rust to start. So get all this out of there and it won't retain the moisture, and then hopefully this won't rust out. So before I go too crazy ordering parts for the Suburban here, I wanted to take a minute and look through the records and receipts that the owner gave me. So this entire folder is full of receipts that he handed me when I bought the thing. Okay, so let's quickly go through all of the problems that I have identified with the Suburban here in the first 2 weeks of ownership. So this is my squawk list. I started with pen and paper that I found inside the Suburban there from the previous owner. First thing is the ABS. The brakes work pretty well when you hit them hard, but if you hit the pedal softly and at low speed, the ABS triggers and it doesn't stop quite right. So that's annoying and a little bit unsafe. The ignition cylinder, I think I did fix that by lubricating it. Not sure, time will tell on whether or not I need to actually replace the ignition cylinder or not. I did go ahead and replace both of the coolant temperature sensors, one of which I had lying around and the other one I ordered. Pretty simple job, no big deal. The control arm bushings, both the uppers and the lowers, are shot. The shocks are toast as well. Those are all rusty and blown out. Another thing super common on these is the door pins. Both of the front doors sag a little bit, so that's not anything vital, but that would be nice to do at some point in the future here. Same thing, window switches on the inside of the car, they are all worn. The passenger side door, the switch is pushed down inside the door panel a little bit, so got some work to do there, although all of the windows do function as they should. Need to do a new oil pressure sensor. Hopefully that will take care of the low oil pressure reading on the gauge. Also, I think the fuel pump is going bad. If you did see the second part of my adventure home with the Suburban, you know that that was making a high-pitched whining noise by the time we got it back to Florida here. Alright, that's just page one. I got a couple more. So I think the valve cover gaskets are leaking. It is leaking or burning a little bit of oil. It doesn't really leak on the ground, but it smells like burning oil a little bit. And it doesn't seem to have a bunch of blow-by, so I'm hoping it's just weeping valve cover gaskets. Need to do new oxygen sensors. Need to get some new keys and fobs made. Need to work on fixing rust and doing undercoating. I want to do the braided stainless steel brake lines because I think those are old brake hoses, might be the original ones. Wiper blades, obviously that's maintenance. I don't think this has ever had the fuel injection spider upgraded to the multi-port unit, so I think that's something in the future here I will be doing as well. It runs okay, so I don't think it really needs that yet. Need to do spark plugs, need to do an oil change, just basic maintenance. I also want to change the rear diff fluid, again basic maintenance. Definitely need new wheels and tires. The wheels are okay, but those tires are very dry rotten, unfortunately, even though they've got good tread. So I think what I'm going to do is try to find a set of wheels off of a later model Suburban or Silverado or something and see if it's got a decent set of tires on it and go that route. Need to service the trans. The barn door for the right barn door strap is broken, so it doesn't stay open. I need to get a new one of those. I think the recirculating blend door might be stuck for the HVAC, but I'm not sure, so I need to look at that. Got an exhaust leak. The AC compressor, it does work, but it's chattering and it doesn't sound all that good. So also the wipers are chattering. It might just be fixed with new blades, I don't know. And it keeps going. So I want to do brake calipers and pads. The brakes that are on there, like I said, seem to work okay other than the low speed ABS activation. However, I did notice that the caliper pistons are fairly rusted, so I don't think this is going to survive a brake job with these calipers. If I try to reset those pistons back into the bore, it's going to tear the seal and cause problems. So I think I need to get new calipers and of course new pads when I do that. The pads that are on there now aren't terrible, so this isn't super pressing, but it needs to be done. The front end, of course, on these being the tie rods and the pitman arm and the idler arm and all of the front end steering stuff, that is all bad, needs to be redone. The front sway bar, the ends are totally rusted out and split and it's coming apart, so I need to get a whole new front sway bar there. And then of course after I do all of that, I'm going to need to get an alignment
And another maintenance thing that I thought of is I need to do the fuel filter as well. So that's it for now. I'm sure I will find some other stuff. Some of this is more pressing than others, but I've got my work cut out for me here. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Make sure you like this video if you did. Give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below if you've got something to add. Subscribe to the channel so that you can see me start fixing some of this stuff. And I will see you next time.